Alright guys, we are coming back to you after a 1-month hiatus to talk to you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, soft tissue mobility. We're going to dovetail off of what Kat was talking about with the Samson stretch to make that a little bit more effective. In general, when you stretch, you're trying to elongate the fibers of a muscle, but muscles aren't usually universally tight. There's usually focal areas of restriction where the muscle gets kind of knotted on itself. If you try to stretch a muscle that's knotted on itself, it's just going to kind of tug and not going to be really effective. The looser part of the muscle is going to stretch while this part just kind of sits here like this. If you do some soft tissue work before the stretch, it's going to make the stretch a little bit more effective. So what we're going to use, something like a foam roll. You can also use a soccer ball or a volleyball, something soft to get into the hip creases and into the hip flexor. Generally with the hip flexor, right across the hip crease is going to be the tightest. If you think of your hip flexor kind of like the creases in your shorts or your pants, when you've been sitting all day, that muscle tenses up. And you're going to be really tight there if you try to stretch there with your Samson stretch. You're not going to feel it as much in the hip crease. You're going to feel it deeper into the quad. You might also feel it up into the hip flexor, but not really in the hip crease. Before you do your stretch, I want you to get on the ground with either your foam roll or something soft. And you're going to get into your hip crease. Just let your weight kind of collapse over that surface and just hang out here until those tissue structures start to melt away and loosen up. You can roll back and forth a little bit if you want. I tend to just stay right on that spot, and in general you're going to loosen up over it just by relaxing. If you spend a couple minutes doing that before you do your stretches, it's going to take these muscles that are tense like this and get them more in this position. Now they're going to be able to stretch the way they should. Do this before your stretch. Your Samson stretch will be much more effective, and it'll be more effective in lifting. Thanks guys. Well, what some of you might not know is that stretching, let's start that over.
Yeah.
Ready?
Ready.